Hi everyone, Pam Gregory. I'm going to be speaking to you today about the first half of September and in particular the solar eclipse that we have coming up in Virgo on the 1st. Now September is a very powerful month astrologically, partly because we have two eclipses in the month, but for other reasons too that I'll be explaining as we go through. Now, eclipses are like portals. They're like the intersection of our inner and outer worlds. And at eclipse times, they're almost like wild cards that unexpected things can happen that jump us forwards on our life path. People, opportunities can come out of the blue to jump us in a kind of accelerated development onto our life path, so it can feel very exciting. And the influence of the eclipse can happen up to 2 weeks before and up to 6 months after the actual date. But the closer you are to the exact date, the more likely you are to see a manifestation of the eclipse. And eclipses, because the light is interrupted, it's almost like a recalibration of light. And if you think that we are gravitationally organised bodies of light, then that reset or that reboot, just like rebooting a computer, can help to start us afresh, start us anew, and leave the past behind. And there's certainly a very strong theme of that as we go through September. So the solar eclipse, which is going to be exact across Africa and the Middle East, but of course will be felt globally, energetically, is on the 1st of September. It's going to be at 9:21 of Virgo, and it's happening at 2:03 a.m. Pacific and 10:03 a.m. UK time. Now, solar eclipses are like super big new moons. So it's like a super big new beginning. So see where this falls in your chart, because the area in which it falls will represent a new beginning in some way for you. It could be a meeting, a phone call, an idea, even just a thought that you have that will get you on track to your destiny for the future. Now, at the new moon, we have the sun and the moon together, as they always are at a new moon, and we have them in a very tight T-square to both Saturn and Neptune. Now, I've talked a great deal about this Saturn-Neptune square over the last few months because, in fact, it's been running since November last year. But it really highlights this square, and it's connected to what's true, what's not, what can we trust, what can we not. And that is really coming to a head in September. It's coming to a head for two reasons. One, because the square is highlighted by the solar eclipse, sun and moon light shining on it, but also because the final square is happening on the 10th of September, and then it starts to dissolve. And so I'm thinking particularly of the US presidential campaign at the moment, but really any of our world leaders. If there's been untruth that has tried to be covered over, we may find that it starts to be revealed in September. A light will be shone on it. And remember that Saturn in traditional astrology is considered the planet of karma and self-undoing. So it'll be very interesting to see how this works as we move through September. In your own life, you might have felt that some untruth is again coming to light, but it can also be things that you thought were more lasting or more permanent in your life seem to be either dissolving or they just simply seem less important. Also, the square to Neptune, although we have at the solar eclipse, we have 5 planets in Earth signs, plus the North Node as well. Now, Saturn is the planet connected to density and 3D reality. So to have all those planets in Earth signs, that's very much to do with the material and the physical and possibly even the mundane. But the square to Neptune at the solar eclipse is encouraging us to keep our vision high, keep our dream high, to soar above those day-to-day mundane tasks that we may have, and really keep our energy to a very high place. What emphasises that message is that Mercury comes together with Jupiter at 28 degrees of Virgo at the solar eclipse. That's about thinking big, having bigger horizons, having bigger perspectives. And also at the solar eclipse, we have Mercury, the planet of communication and the mind, the messenger, Venus, planet of love, Jupiter, planet of wisdom, all conjunct the supergalactic centre. Jupiter, in fact, will be conjunct the supergalactic centre for virtually all of September. So that supergalactic centre is an enormously powerful focus of radiation, of gravitation, of cosmic energy, so we can connect our minds, we can connect our wisdom to all of that source of information. In addition, Mars is going to be at 14 of Sagittarius at this solar eclipse. So if you think of Mars in Sagittarius as the truth warrior or the spiritual warrior, that's conjunct the great attractor. So again, another super powerful point out in the cosmos, which has an enormously rich cosmic material and information. So I think we'll find at this solar eclipse we're getting a sort of energetic reboot. We can even have a cellular change at this solar eclipse and certainly get a lot of new information in. So be very aware about this time of the solar eclipse. You know, the square to Neptune, Neptune's your dreams, Neptune's your meditation. Try and be very aware of receiving new information at that time. Now, the other thing that's very interesting about this solar eclipse is 9 degrees of the mutable signs, and those are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, are being very highlighted at the moment. And that's because 9 degrees of Sagittarius is the degree to which Mars had advanced before it started its retrograde motion in mid-April. It recently moved direct again back to that 9 degrees of Sagittarius and was conjunct Saturn on the 24th of August. So that became a kind of activated boundary degree, if you like. 9 degrees of the mutables. We now have coming up 9 degrees of Virgo, another mutable sign, at the solar eclipse. On the 17th of November, we'll have Neptune at 9 degrees of Pisces, exactly conjunct the South Node. I'll be talking about that in a later video. And then next February, we have another solar eclipse, again activating that same 9 degrees of the mutables. So if you have any planet or angle between 8 to 10 degrees of the mutable signs, and as I've mentioned, those are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, if you're born the last 2 days of February or May, or the first 2 days of September or December of any year, you will probably have your sun. You'll have your sun at roughly 9 degrees, maybe 8 or 10, but 9 degrees of the mutable signs. If you were born between October 61 and July 63, Pluto, natally for you, will be at 9 degrees of Virgo. If you're born between October 63 and August 64, you will have Uranus, your natal Uranus, at 9 degrees of Virgo. So what that means for the people in those dates I've just mentioned is this big new beginning at the solar eclipse will not just be a new beginning in one area of life, it will also activate a second new beginning in another area of life. And if you don't understand what I've just said, it would be really helpful for you to check out this link appearing above me or below in the description. And then you can buy my 2-part tutorial video series, and that will explain to you really simply. You just get a birth chart free online. That will explain really clearly and simply how you understand what I've just said, and you can apply it to any update I ever do going forwards for the future. But that's an active degree, so really watch as we go through. The other important thing that's happening in September is on the 9th, Jupiter changes sign. It moves from Virgo into Libra, and it spends about a year in each sign, so it's going to be in Libra until October 2017. If you have your sun, your moon, your ascendant, or any emphasis in Libra, Jupiter will really bring some personal growth, some opportunities, some expansion, possibly even some abundance into your life over the next year at some point. So also Jupiter tends to expand the qualities of the sign that it's moving through. So Libra is about love, it's about relationships, harmony, balance, cooperation, conciliation as well. And I think after the density that we felt and the intensity that we've all felt of the Uranus-Pluto square over the last 4+ years, we are going to be attracted to leaders who are less warlike and more conciliatory in their approach. Libra is about peace. I think we need some peace at this time. Also, although Libra is ruled by Venus, so here we're thinking about traditional relationships and love in that sense, because we also have an important aspect between Uranus and Neptune. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. It's about unconditional love. It's about universal compassion, seeing the unity and the sanctity of all life. So I think it's going to be love and relationships at a higher level. And the Uranus-Neptune aspect is about a spiritually based community. I've mentioned this recently. We had something similar in the 1960s, and there was a very strong sense of community then based on peace and love, as some of us might remember. But what's interesting as a link between these two, Libra also has an association with the arts and culture. Neptune in Pisces is highly creative, highly artistic. So the two of these coming together with the Uranus aspect, I think, is going to produce some very inspired art and music as we move through the next few months. And both Jupiter and Libra and the Uranus-Neptune aspect run through a great deal of 2017 as well. The other manifestation of this, which I think I anticipate, is that Neptune, particularly in Pisces, is to do with altered states. It's to do with meditation. It's to do with bliss. It's to do with this feeling of unconditional love. It's also, Neptune in Pisces, very ethereal. It's to do with light, very pure light. So I anticipate that with the Uranus aspect, there will be, in fact, I think there are already some, but there will be more devices or alternative technology coming onto the marketplace that can help us achieve states of bliss, states of unconditional love, and also devices which may boost literally the light in our cells, the biophotons in our cells. I talked at the beginning about we're gravitationally organised bodies of light. I think there are going to be machines and devices over the next year or so that will help to boost that, literally, to improve our health too. It's going to be fascinating to watch that. And then just finally, particularly if you have anything in the second half of Sagittarius, Mars is now moving very quickly through that area. And in fact, it will be entering Capricorn on the 27th of the month. Or just in general, see where the second half of Sagittarius, 14 degrees to the end, falls in your chart. That is likely to be an area which is quite active for you through September. So a lot happening this month. It's very powerful, it's very highly energized, and it's a wonderful period of new beginnings for you too, and shifts in energy. So if you'd like more information about my book, my audiobook, my tutorial videos, my free several thousand words monthly newsletter, just check out my website, pamgregory.com or thenextstep.uk.com. And thanks so much for listening.